Today, we're gonna switch it up just a little bit. So I'm actually watching this video with you guys right now, and I'm gonna narrate over top of it, talking about some of my favorite detailing tools that I use to complete a fairly regular maintenance detail on a vehicle that's already protected, either with a wax, sealant, or a ceramic coating, something that's gonna allow it to clean up fairly easy. I think most of YouTube detailing is filled with people getting products for the first time. They're excited, they throw up a video, and oftentimes in that video, they're actually trying the product for the first time. And I get it. It's exciting, you want to share, but in terms of creating content for you guys, the consumer, the hobbyist, the detailer, I don't think those videos are that valuable. There isn't a lot of weight in those opinions when you're literally trying something for the first time. So in this video, these are all tools that I've been using for at least a year, and in most cases, 4 to 5 years. I may have switched the version, but it's always been the same tool. So without further ado, the first thing we're going to look at is the Marlex Axle 2000 foamer. This is a 2-liter pressurized foamer made in Poland, which is a fantastic country. This thing absolutely rips. I was having some issues with some other brands. They weren't holding pressure. I wasn't getting the foam I wanted. They were leaking, and I needed to change the filter what felt like every other week. Chris from Carzilla, as he always does, came in to save the day and sent this Marlex sprayer out to me 3 years ago. I have been using the same sprayer for 3 years. I put crazy dilutions of degreaser in it. I put lesser dilutions of brake buster in it like I'm using here, and basically everything in between, and it still sprays foam, holds pressure like the day I got it, which I think is the pinnacle for me in terms of being a detailer or a business owner. A tool that you buy even at a lesser price point like a foam sprayer, working for that long is incredible, and knowing you can rely on it every single time, it's even better. I primarily use this foamer for wheel cleaning, and the foam it creates, in my opinion, is perfect. It's thick but wet enough where it gets into all the little nooks and crannies and holds onto the wheel, allowing the product to put in quite a bit of work before you go in and agitate it with your different brushes or tools that you're using on the wheel. In this case, a slew of Detail Factory brushes. I have been using these brushes for the longest time, I think 5+ years. I just recently picked up the new colorway, which is Avalanche, and it's a very, very pretty blue. Detail Factory makes brushes for every single type of surface on your car and every single type of wheel that you could imagine detailing. Different spokes, different finishes, different size wheel barrels, different wheel wells, different brakes. They have something for everything, and I'm just using 3 here, but at the end of this wheel cleaning, I'm going to show you the full lineup that they offer and how they really do have something for everyone and everyone's car. On the faces, you just saw me using the Boar's Hair detailing brush. These Porsche wheels are gunmetal, gloss finish, fairly delicate, fairly intricate, and the Boar's Hair brush allows me to get into every little corner of them, making sure I make contact and clean them properly. On the barrels, this is the wheel barrel kit. Has a really nice handle, very ergonomic with the flexible core that comes with 2 interchangeable microfiber slips, so depending on your preference or how dirty the wheel is, you can switch them out and use the one that best works for you. I prefer this looser microfiber one, but if the wheel is very dirty and requires some scrubbing, the other one, a little bit lower matte, I do like that just a little bit more. Along with the faces, the Boar's Hair detailing brush can also be good for cleaning brake calipers if they're easy access, meaning the spokes are spread out enough where you can get that brush in there. For the tires, I like to use the dedicated tire brush. This one also has a super comfortable handle, so no matter what angle or for how long you're going at the tire, it's always comfy in your hand. And the bristles on it are super versatile, meaning you can clean kind of the more complex pattern on mud tires as well as the tighter flat pattern on performance tires like these Continental Pro contacts. In addition to these brushes, they offer a bunch of other really great ones. First one being the wheel arch / fender liner brush. It has this long skinny neck with these really nice bristles, allowing me to clean everything from the fender liner, be it carpet or plastic, all the way back to the suspension components with ease. Next up is the wheel face brush. This one I'll use instead of the Boar's Hair's brush if the wheel face is a lot more simple and has a lot more surface area. It cleans just about the same and does it a lot quicker. Lastly, the synthetic bristle brush. This one I reserve exclusively for gloss black wheels. The gloss black that you're going to look at and it's going to scratch. This brush is super delicate and handles those specific wheels with ease and care, which I like. If you guys want to check out the Detail Factory site, we actually have a coupon code that you can use. Browse the site. I'll have everything linked in the description. The code is Chromatic. Save yourself a little bit of money, help out this channel, help the good guys at Detail Factory, and carry on with your detailing. If you guys end up liking this style of video, I'm actually going to run through a few of them cover a maintenance wash, cover an interior detail, cover a paint correction, where I don't talk about the process or necessarily the liquids, but just the tools I'm using, because I really do think they are the things that make the detail what it is. With that being said, the next tool is the fun one, the thing that I think people get probably the most excited about during a wash, and that is the foam cannon. This is the PF22. I've had 2 of these in the past 5 years. The first one I dropped from a fairly significant height and it broke. This is the second one, which I've also dropped but have had for a significantly longer time. The initial draw to this foam cannon was the wider base, as you can see here. Typically with a foam cannon, you add your water, you add your soap, you screw on your top, and it immediately falls over and does this time and time again, leading to leaking and the ultimate upset and demise of your detailing experience. This one, it doesn't do that, and to add to it, the plastic being used is extremely stout, and as you see here, the foam it produces is fantastic. So as long as you can get your dilution ratio somewhat correct, this thing is going to produce an awesome foam, making your wash experience just that much better. With this particular model from MTM, there are 3 different ways you can adjust it. First one being you can switch the fan from horizontal to vertical depending on your preference. Secondly, you can actually change that width of that fan. In this video, you see it at the widest setting. This is what I prefer. It has the smoothest application of the foam to the vehicle, but you can also turn it all the way down so that it's kind of representing a jet stream on a garden hose. Not really that effective, but if you want it, you got it. And then lastly, you can change the actual solution that's getting sucked into the water stream, meaning your foam can be a lot more wet or a lot more dry. Typically, I will always turn this to the driest to get the thickest, most clingy foam I can. Now that the car is foamed, we can move on to our single bucket wash. The 2-bucket wash method has been ruled out, proven it is not necessary so many times over. Half the industry is now using a bristle brush to wash their car. The least we can do, drop a bucket, save ourselves some time, save ourselves some space, and make the overall wash process just a little bit more enjoyable. The buckets I'm using are the 5-gallon buckets from Uline. They have a Gamma Seal lid, and inside is a grit guard to ideally trap some of that dirt and make the wash process just a little bit safer. The buckets are in the grit guard dollies. This is the previous generation with these smaller casters and no locks. The new ones have these really nice larger casters, but they also have a locking mechanism. Larger casters means more likely to roll on uneven ground, but they saved you with the locking mechanism. I'd like to get the new ones. Don't really need the new ones. If they fall into my lap, I will start using them, but until then, this previous gen is working fantastic for me. The wash mitt I'm using here is also from Detail Factory. It's a microfiber wash mitt, roughly 1000 GSM. The microfiber wash mitts are my favorite on all vehicles, from clean to dirty. I find they trap the most debris without re-releasing it and scratching the vehicle later on in the wash. This one in particular is fantastic. It's a lighter color, which allows you to see where the wash mitt is heavily soiled if you need to rinse it out thoroughly before moving on to the next panel, making your wash even that much safer. Once all the paintwork is clean, I'm going to grab a synthetic bristle brush from Detail Factory, hit all the badges, the grills, trims, door handles, diffusers, basically any intricate space on the exterior of the car that the wash mitt was just far too large to get in, allow the bristles to go in there, effectively clean it, leaving the car perfectly clean and ready for its final rinse. The bristles on this brush are super soft and they're not going to damage or defect any exterior surface on your vehicle. Typically, I would finish this detail outside, but it's obviously getting a little bit dark, and for video's sake, I'm going to bring it in, but it should be something you can finish very quickly outside. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the coupon codes I can offer you guys on the products in this video, because there's quite a few. Depending on where you live, you might want to listen up. First off, the Detail Factory code, Chromatic, save yourself some money on the Detail Factory website, link below. Secondly, Car Supplies Warehouse, Chromatic 10 saves you 10% pretty much site-wide. So if you're in the States and order from CSW, they have everything you need to detail, including all the products in this video. In Canada, the first one is TOC Supplies, located in Toronto. You can use code Chromatic to save 10% there. They have an amazing selection and incredibly fast fulfillment. Lastly, Carzilla, which is on the west coast in Alberta of Canada. Chromatic also saves you money there. Again, an incredible selection, incredible fulfillment, and incredible people behind all of these companies. Helping them helps me, and it helps you. We're going to call that synergy. What you see in front of you is me adding my clay lubricant / drying aid to my IK Sprayer Multi 2 Pro. Multi meaning this is not a foamer. It's going to take the liquid that I put in it and spray it onto the panel that I am working on or other surface area of the car. In this case, the entire exterior of the Porsche Taycan Turbo. Now, The multi is fantastic. It's essentially going to remove you developing a serious case of arthritis from trigger spraying around a vehicle about 100 times in 10 minutes. It's a great tool. In this case, I'm putting optimum no rinse on the car to reduce the surface tension of the water that is sitting on the car, because I know I'm going to go back and clay it and that water could be there for a little bit, and I want to make this as safe and non-invasive as possible with my wash. So I go around the car, spray it all over, let it sit, grab my clay towel, and we're going to go back in with that in just a second. It's not after every wash that you need to mechanically decontaminate your coated vehicle, but over time, contamination does get stuck to that coating, and the best, safest, least invasive way to do so is with a clay towel. This particular clay towel is made by Netsen. This is the light grade version, and this is a polymerized rubber that you're seeing on the face in gray here. It has a super large surface area, meaning you can clay your vehicle faster and safer than a traditional clay bar. Netsen is based out of Australia, and much like the Toyotas that I very much love from Australia, the detailing products have been proven to be pretty dang good as well. This week I've tried everything from compounds, polishes, graphene coatings, ceramic coatings, APCs, including this clay towel here. Pretty much everything across the board, and every single product has been great. Using this clay towel in conjunction with the IK Multi is a way to get around the car, claying it in probably about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, which would typically take probably 10 to 15 minutes if you were using traditional clay. So it's speeding up the process drastically, and like I said multiple times now, it's making it so much safer. Because I used Optimum No Rinse as my clay lubricant, I don't have to dry each panel after I clay it. I can clay around the entire vehicle, and then at the very end, go back into my drying towel and dry the car. This isn't necessarily a huge time saver per se, but it does feel a lot more efficient when it comes to your workflow. The drying towel that I'm going to use is the Twisted Loop Liquidator from the Rag Company. The Liquidator is my favorite drying towel. It's an 1100 GSM monster. When this thing is dry, it's heavy. And believe it or not, when this thing gets wet, it's even heavier. It has that flop that I think we're all sort of looking for in a drying towel. And as far as the Rag Company goes, I don't think I could say enough good things. Based out of Boise, Idaho. They're one of the reasons this channel even exists, thanks to their Ambassador program a number of years ago. The Rag Company has done an incredible job at cultivating what I see as a detailing culture for everyone from beginners, professionals, and every single person in between, sharing the latest products, brands, people, places, things, everything and everyone that is detailing in a way that feels inclusive. So it's not too cool for some people or not cool enough for others. It just hits the right spot. They've been doing it for years, and I see them continuing to do this for years to come, and I can't wait to watch along every step of the way. As I work around the car with the drying towel, I'm only really trying to get about 85, maybe 90% of the water off the paint. This may seem just a little bit counterproductive, but what I'm going to do next, take my Ego blower and blow out all the badges, lights, trims, doors, handles, and water's going to spray all over the paint. Luckily, 90% of that water is gone, so in my final step when I go in with my sealant and my towel, any residual water is going to get picked up with that, and the car will be fully dry and complete, ready to head out. At this point, I feel like the Ego blower is the industry standard for drying your car. Whether it's wheels, paintwork, this thing does it all, and it does it all really, really well. The model I'm using here is super old now. The battery used to be able to dry 2 full cars on a single charge. Now it probably dries about 90% of a single car, which I understand is not great, but it's been honestly years, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars have been dried with this blower. All I'm going to end up doing is upgrading to a newer model year with a newer model battery, and I'll be set to go. It has the stubby nozzle on it, meaning the air that's shooting out of it is more precise. Not good whatsoever for yard work, but when it comes to drying a car, that more direct air really helps you get the water off the car a lot easier, and it works great. These blowers have both a regular and a turbo mode, and if you're anything like me, you're going to be pressing that turbo mode every single second you're using it. It just gets the job done so much faster. Moving on to our sealant, this is the IK Multi TR1 Trigger Sprayer, and this thing is an atomization work of art. The atomization is both very satisfying and very useful, specifically when it comes to applying a spray sealant like this. You guys probably recognize that orange in the IK Trigger Sprayer. It is PNS Beadmaker, as we all know it. But what the atomization does, it allows you to coat the panel evenly. So instead of your product hitting one area and you having to spread it out with your microfiber towel. It coats it, and then you go in with your towel, level it out, and you're left with a really solid finish without that additional work you'd have to do while spreading it. It's just a lot better. As well as the ergonomics of this trigger sprayer are very good. The bottle size is great. I believe this is the 1 liter, so it's not so small that you only get 1 tar out of it, but it's not so big that it's super heavy and you're kind of lugging it around. It's just perfect. And to add to this combo, the microfiber towel that I'm using is the Rag Company Edgeless 365. The name says it all. It is an edgeless, dual-sided microfiber towel, perfect for just about anything on the vehicle. Paint corrections, exterior detailing, interior detailing. This towel can do everything, comes in a number of colors, and is great to purchase in bulk at a very, very fair price. As I finish up the bead maker on the paint, I am going to apply it to the wheel faces, barrels, and brake calipers. When it comes to maintenance detailing, I really do like to use products that are versatile across the entire car. It really does save time switching between bottles and having to grab different towels. It turns everything into one single step process, getting a great result across the entire car with simple products that are proven in their results and their longevity. While I finish up the wheels, I'll remind you one more time that all the products in this video are going to be linked in the description below. I'm going to put all the products under each of the site links, so you'll have the coupon code for the website and then the product link, so you can shop at whatever site you want. Maybe you have a preference, maybe it's geographical, whatever suits you best. There'll be an option in the description for you, and I'm going to pin it in the top comment as well on this video. Once these wheels are done, there's only one last thing to do, and that is to dress the tires. I don't really have a retail suggestion that you guys can buy for an applicator, but this is what I did. Your craft store should have about a 2.5-inch thick sheet of this foam. Buy it, cut it into as many tire dressing applicators as you can. They end up being about 10 to 15 cents per. Use them 3 to 5 times, throw them out. Best thing I've ever done. They work on all types of tires, from skinnier performance tires like this to thicker mud tires. They work with every dressing. This is Carbro Dark Side. They work with Armor Detail Supply Ghost. Everything I've tried on them, they work fantastic, and with that cheap cost, you don't really have to worry about getting rid of them quickly, meaning you can have fresh ones on the go pretty much at all times, which is always awesome. As I mentioned earlier, I would love to make a video in this exact same structure for the interior of a car as well as a paint correction, going over all the tools that I find useful for me in both my detailing hobby and my detailing business. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll roll the outro. Thanks.